I'm Dr. Tim Fargo. Welcome to my home, our home I should say. I'm going to prepare tonight perfect roast chicken. This is a recipe that was I saw online actually. It's Edina Garten, and we prepared this some time ago and it was really pretty much to die for, so I'm going to go through how to do that, okay? So we have a chicken. You got to buy one of those. This is between 5 to 6 pounds, I don't remember exactly. You're going to unwrap it. You're going to take, if it has giblets, meaning all the body parts, you're going to take that out of the body cavity. You're going to wash it inside and out, and you're going to dry it. So this guy's pretty dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take kosher rock salt, which is like this. We're going to take black pepper, which I've ground a bit of. And we're going to do that on the interior of the bird. So let me just get that going first of all. So me, I'm just a big one. I'm not a big measuring person, so I'm going to just take and I'm going to put salt on the interior of the bird, and it doesn't matter. This is really more about just getting it prepared. We're going to salt and pepper the outside too, but that's pretty good. I'm going to take some pepper once again with my hand here. I'll pepper the inside like this, and then we're going to put some things on the interior of the bird to create a really fragrant and moist chicken. Nothing worse in my mind than having chicken that's dry. So I have a whole lemon I've cut up into quarters, and I've got a whole head of garlic which I've cut in half. I also have, from my garden, I have fresh thyme. So we are going to stick this thyme in here. No time like the present. We're going to put both the lemon and the garlic, and there's nothing, it's rather unceremonious what I'm doing here. I'm just taking this stuff and I'm stuffing it in here, and we'll even see if we can get it all in here. And so obviously when you put wedges of lemon like this in the cavity of a bird, it's going to keep the bird very moist, and this is incredibly fragrant. This one we're not going to fit in. Now what I'm going to do, as you can see here, so I've got our little bird and I've got our lemons here. I'm going to take and tie up the legs so that it keeps it all together. And this is just like, I don't know what you call it, like a packaging string or a cotton string, just like that. And we'll go like that. Good. And the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to prepare the vegetables. Now this is a roasted chicken. All right, now it's time for the vegetables, because we're going to take a roasting pan. This is what it looks like. We're going to take a whole yellow onion, and it's very thickly chopped. The thing that I like about this dish is that it's kind of like a farm dish. Just chop, chop, chop a bunch of stuff up. I've got 4 carrots in here. I've got more thyme, and I have sprigs of thyme, about 20 of them, and we're going to put a recipe in too, so you don't have to be taking notes. We'll have something written, posted. Now this lovely item, this is called fennel. It's also called anise. It's sort of celery-like, but it both smells and it unbelievably tastes like licorice. So there is a liqueur that's made from it in France. It's called anisette, and it's very, very potent. So I just cut the tops off like the stalks. We now have this sort of tuberous thing here, and we're going to cut that into sections. Actually, I'll take this little brown part off here, and we're going to cut this into sections just like this. And look at it, it's kind of, like I said, onion-like. And we're going to make wedges out of this, sort of like this. And what's going to happen, it's unbelievable how much it smells and tastes like licorice. What's going to happen with this is that when we roast it, which we're going to do for about an hour and a half, it's going to caramelize, which means that the sugars in it are really going to develop, and it's killer good. So now we have our roasting pan here. I'm going to take And this is once again a rather indelicate thing. We're going to take olive oil, just like this, and we'll spritz it over the top of this. I'm going to take more kosher rock salt, like this. How much? Just liberally put it on like that. That's probably about enough. Next, I'm going to take black pepper. I prefer to have it freshly ground like this. And then all I have to do, I'll just use my hands, is mix it all together because we want the vegetables to be nicely coated, as you see. So now what we have is we have a beautiful bed for our chicken, because our chicken's going to go right here in a moment. All right, now back to the chicken. So we have our bird, and we're going to put it right on its little bed, okay? And what you can see here is we have the breast side up, and I've got some melted butter. It's about a quarter cup, and I have a pastry brush, and I'm simply painting the outside of this chicken with melted butter. And what that's going to do is, you know how nice it is when you get a really brown, crispy brown skin on a piece of poultry? That's what this does. And you can be very liberal about this. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, the more butter the better in just about everything. Of course, if you're dairy sensitive, that's another thing, but I make exceptions. So all I'm doing here is, like I said, I am liberally coating this chicken with butter. Actually, I'll pour some on there. Good, that's good enough. Last thing before it goes in the oven, we are once again going to add some salt. I'm going to sprinkle the outside, like you see me doing here. Beautiful. And we've got some pepper, same thing that we did before. So I don't want to, yeah, there we go. So what's going to happen over the next hour and a half, which is how long this bird approximately is going to cook, is that our house is going to start to smell divine. And there you go. There's our guy. Now the oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and the way you work with poultry, the recipe says an hour and a half, but actually what you can do is you can put a meat thermometer right in here, kind of in the thigh, and you want that to, I don't remember the temperature, but you can look that up. The other thing you can do is you can pierce it with a knife in here, and when the juices run clear, that's how you know when poultry is done. Okay, but thermometers are really good, and I'll probably put one in there too. You ready? Here we go. Hi again. About an hour and a half has elapsed, actually a little less, because we're discovering, and I looked at some of the reviews too, temperature might be a little high at 425, so I set it back to 400. Internal temperature, this is a Bluetooth thermometer. Internal temperature, remember in the armpit where the thigh is, 165 degrees. So we'll see. So I'm gonna pull it out so you can see it. Try not to burn my whiskers off. And there's our bird. All right. So when we next convene, I'll have it plated for you, and I'll see you in a minute. I neglected to mention that, as with a lot of roasted meats and poultry, what you want to do is you want to let it rest. We're going to cover this in foil for about 20 minutes, all right? It lets the meat set up and makes it easier to carve. So we're just going to do like that for 20 minutes, so I'll see you back. Here you go. finished product. So I neglected to tell you, no, I did tell you, you put it in the foil. We had 20 minutes rest. Here we are plated. We've got all of our vegetables and herbs around. And then what we're gonna do is just carve it like you would a turkey or anything else. Bon appetit.